Okay, last episode I went in to have an interview at for not at Amazon for an Amazon driver position, and it actually happened. It wasn't like the digital instances where my interview just didn't happen. This time it happened, so that's cool. It's basically the interesting thing. So it's $15 an hour, and it's you work 4 days, then you're off 4 days, which equates to a little over $2,000 a month, which is better than minimum wage in Illinois, which is $10 an hour. So it's about, what, $2,100, $2,200 a month, something like that. So that pays all the bills and stuff and has some extra stuff that I can save for like the BMW and whatnot, and it's a good filler job in the meantime. I do need to get an Illinois license or something like that, or a Class E or something like that. That's important. Basically, that's a chauffeur's license, apparently, so that's kind of cool. I'm also waiting to hear back from Norfolk Southern on a application. I mean, that's the end game goal, because that's something I could make a career out of. There's lots of promotions you can get out of that, and it's a cool career in a cool field, and it pays fantastically well. But their process of looking at applications apparently takes a bajillion years. Many years. It's August right now, and I made my application, God, I want to say, July 7th. I had to check, and it's August 11th right now. Big wow. I'll take any job I can get as long as it's not some crummy minimum wage grocery store job. I'm not setting the bar very high, but it's got to be something, you know. Anyways, let's get back onto the road and head back home, because I've got something interesting to talk about with you guys today. It involves Lamborghinis. Now, I know that you guys are big, tuner and muscle enthusiasts, but I like all cars, and so obviously, I like exotics. More specifically, I like supercars. There's a difference between exotics and supercars. Good Lord, people. Feels like there's a lot of 8-year-olds in the chat. Anyways, Lamborghinis. So Lamborghini didn't really announce it. I think it was supposed to be unveiled at the Geneva Motor Convention, but it never was. I don't think. It's a new version, the final version of the Lamborghini Huracan, my favorite modern Lamborghini right now, and it will probably still be my favorite Lamborghini even once it's replaced by some new hybrid V10 variant. It is the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo Omologato, I think is how you say it. Sorry if I butchered it. I haven't actually looked up how it's supposed to be said. The Lamborghini Huracan STO. It's been described, I don't know how accurate this is, it's basically like the Huracan equivalent of the Gallardo Super Trofeo Stradale, I think, the STS. So that's really cool. And, the Super Trofeo Omologato, the STO Huracan, I don't know if it's going to be 610 horsepower or more, but I assume it will be lighter. It is going to be rear-wheel drive. Hopefully it won't be massively limited production, because I'd love to one day own one. As a Lamborghini, I'd actually aspire to own like more than a Huracan Performante, like as a cool collectible car that I wouldn't put a body kit on, but maybe twin turbo, is the Huracan Super Trofeo Omologato. And I'm a performance guy, so I am a little annoyed that it's rear-wheel drive only, kind of like the Valentino Balboni Gallardo and all that. But actually, there's a way around that. So Underground Racing, not too long ago, made a post on their Facebook page about a 1400 horsepower Stage 3 Huracan that they were building. It started out as the two-wheel drive variant, and then they converted it to all-wheel drive, and using Motec, a Motec standalone ECU, they made it so that at the flip of a switch, you could go from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive. And now anyone that likes Huracans, you got to admit that's the dream. You can have Huracan all-wheel drive, supercar handling and performance, launch, grip, all that good stuff. And then when you want to do some Hoonigan style, DDE style burnouts and donuts, you can just flip the switch, go to rear wheel drive, and you're good to go. And that just sounds perfect, in my opinion. The ECU that they used is the JRR Motec M1 ECU. And I love the fact, I wondered if it was possible. Like, anything's possible with a car, but I wondered if anyone had done that before, where they made it where you could go from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive in a Huracan. Because I know I think you can do that with torque splitters and like R32s and R33s and R34s, the GTRs. But I've never seen someone do that with like a Lamborghini. I've seen people disable all-wheel drive on Gallardos and stuff. I've seen rear-wheel drive what are they called? Superleggeras. So I just think that's massively badass. So as like an actual supercar goal, like beyond the R34 GTR and the M3 E46 GTR build, the Huracan Super Trofeo, oh, you've got your hazards on. The Huracan Super Trofeo Omologato sounds like a really cool package, and I assume it's going to have amazing aero. Like, so if you didn't like the Huracan when it first came out and it wasn't quite angular enough and aggressive enough in that typical Lamborghini style. One second. Someone drops some grass or something. Your ass is grass. I don't know. I mean, I'm not usually the sort of person that would actually be interested in buying a car that is considered collectible, just because I can't justify it in my head. And I know I've never been the type to try and justify any automotive purchases, because that's not what hobbies are about. You're not supposed to explain it to yourself or anyone else. But, you know, when I look at like a super mega rare version of a car that's not really all that different of the standard version, you go, why would I pay an extra $100,000 for that? You know, that doesn't make sense. I could save $100,000, get basically the same car, and then if I wanted to, if I had $100,000 to spare, spend that on mods. It doesn't necessarily work like that, but you guys more or less probably get what I'm saying. But you know, there are a couple exceptions, obviously, with the M-Spec Nero R34 GTR, and maybe now there's another exception with the Huracan STO. I don't know. Like, as I've mentioned in the past, I like supercar content. I think channels like DDE and Stradman and all that are really, really cool. I love the idea of doing that sort of content. It's obviously very expensive. You need a really good income. I do not have the income for that right now. I'm making sure I have the income for the M3 first. But someday down the line, if I can afford a supercar, I will probably get one, because the content opportunities are so good. I always thought maybe it would be good to start with something like an Audi R8, like a 5.2 V10 Audi R8, like one of the early Type 42 ones. I think those go for like $80,000, $90,000. It's been a while. Are you gonna change lanes? Change lanes. Your turn signal's on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh my God. That was the slowest of the slowest lane change I have ever seen. There he goes. I can't remember like what model year of the R8 that they started using the DCT gearbox, because I know they were basically Gallardos, and Gallardos had that E gear, and not everyone loves the e-gear, and I don't know how I'd feel about having that as well. Apparently there's a lot of issues that come with it. I'm not sure. But the Huracan came out in 2015, and there was a model year of the Type 42 R8 in 2015. So did that have the DCT? I haven't done my research. That's why I'm asking, because I feel like the DCT is necessary. I think it's just probably so much better. I don't know. It's an end game goal. I mean, this is very, like I said, this is very, very far in advance thinking. Like, I'm thinking years and years ahead. The M3 E46 and the R34 are going to take up so much of my time and money that combustion engines will be probably banned in the EU and the UK by the time I'm able to afford a Lamborghini. But I'll still do it, because even though I don't like the fact that we're moving away from internal combustion engines, and I think it's stupid because it's for the wrong reasons, I've decided that as long as YouTube is a thing, I am going to keep the channel as a car channel and mainly focus on combustion engine cars, because eventually that'll become unique. And it'll be like saying, you know, I don't drive cars from anything as like late as 1970. I drive only classics. Like, there's an appeal to that. Eventually, this Subaru will be considered a classic somehow. It's hard for me to picture now. It's already depreciated by like $9,000 or $10,000. But I've decided I'm just gonna stick with that, and hopefully, my main concern is that as internal combustion engines leave the market and it becomes less and less commonplace, where are all the people that are going to be specialized in working on them going to go? Because I don't know how to work on these cars, and a lot of these cars are very complicated, and it's just, I'm a little nervous that, you know, 50 years from now, if I wanted to take, you know, a Lamborghini and add a couple turbos and stuff and, you know, make it a bit faster and more cool, will there be anyone around to work on it? There might be, but it won't be, you know, I won't be able to look for the nearest exotic tuning shop. It'll be super uncommon. Like, will underground racing still be around? I hope so. I just feel like it's going to kill a lot of companies and kill a huge portion of the hobby. Come on, little Honda. Pass me. Pass me. Go, Honda. Honda. I want to get around this Cougar. Why would you call that a Cougar? That is such a terrible decision.